Flosstube, welcome back to Snickerdoodle Stitch, or welcome if it's your first time. My name is Kathleen and this is a channel about cross stitch, and I'm happy to be here with you this evening. This has become my new relaxing Friday night routine, a good way to unwind from the week and reflect on what I stitched and kind of think through what I'm going to stitch next week. So before I get started, last Flosstube I announced a contest to celebrate you all for subscribing. I reached 1,000 subscribers, so thank you again. So I have two things I'm giving away. You would need to leave a comment on my last video, not this one. It's the video that the thumbnail says something about celebrating you 1,000 subscribers. I forget what it's called. But I'm giving away two things. One small change. I'm giving away a gift certificate to Garon Stitchery. It's an online cross stitch shop. He's got amazing selection of patterns, flosses, specialty flosses, a fantastic place to go to look for overdyed fabrics. He carries Fabrics by Stephanie, Atomic Ranch, Picture This Plus. I'm trying to think what else. I personally like Atomic Ranch and Fabrics by Stephanie, so those are usually the ones I lean toward. Fox and Rabbit, he carries their fabrics, so I don't know what he's gotten in recently to know what there's a ton of, but he always has a fantastic selection. So if you're looking for overdyed fabric, I definitely recommend there. Anyway, I'm giving away a $30 gift certificate. You just need to leave a comment on the last video, and in that comment mention Garon. It's a combination of Gary and Ronnie, so Garon, and I will pick a winner next Friday, the 25th. So you would need to have your comment in by early on the 25th. I'll select it sometime that afternoon before I start filming for the next episode. I am also giving away this tiny modernist pattern, Stitching Mends the Soul. I finished this one, and so now this is up for grabs. This one I will send internationally, so anyone is welcome to put in for this one. And for this one, comment on the last video and just put the word soul in the comment, and that's the keyword that I'll use to draw a winner for this. For the Garon Stitchery, he does not ship to the EU, so that one is probably best just within the US. I think VAT tax is too complicated to deal with for a small shop to ship to EU. So let me see. This week was actually kind of a quiet week. I went away last weekend and did some sewing with 4 friends of mine. We had a fantastic time. I had planned on making a quilt, but I didn't. I had some pillowcases that I have been working on. I cut them when we first went into lockdown with COVID, so early 2020. I had cut fabric for like 100 pillowcases. It was some novelty prints and things I knew I wasn't going to use, and some was fabric that was given to me to use for charity work. So anyway, I've had like these 100 pillowcases. They were in my way all the time. I was like, I just need to get these done. And they were almost finished. So I did get those finished. Now I just got to get them laundered and over to the shop locally that accepts them for donation. And those will be out of my way. So I finished my pillowcases, and then I went a little crazy making project bags, which is probably, might be a good thing, might not, because now I will definitely want to have more projects kitted up. And I had kind of reached the point where I was like, okay, I've got enough started and in progress. I need to just get some more things finished. And I do realize that there are smaller projects that I do finish in between, and I have some, especially when I get into the fall Christmas season, that were really close to being finished last year before I stopped like my seasonal stitching. So I'm going to have some big things that will finish up this year, but I now have like 11 more project bags. So I'll show you those toward the end, after I've shown you what I've been stitching on cross stitch wise, since that's what you're really here for. So I did get my Stitching Mends the Soul fully finished. This was a frame that I picked up at a thrift shop, and this piece, this wood that was inside here was actually black, and I went to get some paint at Michael's to match the 930. It's that dark blue. It's like on the pin, it's the words, the bottom of the pin cushion here and on the spools. And so I looked for a dark blue paint that would match that, and I covered the black, and then framed this up. So that's all done. I didn't put my tag on the back, my library card with all of the details, because I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this or give it away in a smalls exchange. I've got 2 more retreats in October, and I hadn't decided if I was going to do smalls exchange in October or not. But I may, and I might give this. I really, October, I would rather do something Halloween or fall, but not everybody does Halloween, and everybody there will be stitchers. So this may be a small. So I got that FFO'd. Then I worked some more on my Mirabilia that I already started, the Princess Elliana, which is this one. And she has a ton of colors and a ton of color changes, but I'm having fun with her. And she right now is in this new project bag that I made when I was away this last weekend. This is the lining, this is plaid. The fabric store that's there has this huge, I don't even want to call it sale section, because I think it's fabric that they buy, like closeouts or things that are, you know, left over from lines, and now the manufacturers moved on to the next lines. But I love this fabric. I had seen it before, and I was never sure what to do with it, but it was perfect to make a very large, let me go the right direction, very large envelope pouch for my scroll frame, because this scroll frame, and I have 2 like this right now because I have the fabric picked out finally and on the scroll frame for my modern folk embroidery, but these are 36-inch dowels, so they're big. But this is where I got on Princess Elliana. I've got it rolled down pretty close to the bottom there, but what I worked on is all of the latest purple in there, and then all of the brown and orange. So let me see if I can go the right direction. All of this stuff, and then all of this I worked on. And I'm just saying, let me hold this in front of my face for a minute. This is a lot brighter. I'm hoping I don't regret picking this bright blue fabric for this, but we'll see. Hopefully light wasn't showing through that too badly for you. It is very bright, and purple and orange are my 2 least favorite colors. So I'm not loving the colors right now, but we'll see when I get into more of the greens and the yellows and stuff. Then I think I'm gonna start to like it more. But right now I'm in this bottom part of the skirt, kind of that purple under ruffle, and then that scalloped part that's behind her one leg that sticks out. That's what I am on now. So this is that scallop part. Her leg actually will be right here. But I'm having a blast stitching on it, even though I'm not liking the colors. I had forgotten how much fun Mirabilias are to stitch, so let me just get it back in this envelope pouch. I do like the big, something big to keep my scroll frames in, because obviously this isn't going to get finished overnight, and I will work on this in a floor stand. But if I'm not working on it for a week or something, or I've set it aside to work on, say, the modern folk embroidery, which hopefully I'll be starting soon now that I've solved my fabric dilemma, then I like to be able to put it in something just to keep it dust free and from getting any sort of fading from sunlight or artificial lighting. Artificial lighting can cause fading too. So I was really happy to find a fabric that I love to make the pouch. And actually I love that fabric so much that I have it propped right now in my family room so I can see it when I'm stitching on other stuff. But anyway, the next thing that I stitched on was Gifts for My Garden, which is from Hello from Liz Matthews. And this I bought at StitchCon, and they had the, I know they had the trunk show there, and I think they actually had this piece stitched there. And the colors in person are not nearly as bright as the colors on the pattern cover, but that seems to be just the way things go these days. The colors seem to always be oversaturated on the patterns. But I got a lot done on this. So I got all of the stems and leaves and the bow, and then I started on the one flower up here. So I was happy with that progress. This is on 32 count Mystic Fabrics, and the fabric is called Everything Else. And I have to say, when I think I said this last time, when my local shop had this Super Bowl Sunday, or around then, back in January, I fell in love with this fabric and bought half yards in 2 different counts. It's just a really nice, subtle modeling, and it's a dream to stitch on, so I'm very happy with it. So that is my From My Garden, or no, Gifts from My Garden from Liz Matthews. And I have that still in the Q-snap because I want to work on that some more before the month is over, since this was for a designer focus. And let me just put this, sorry, I'm trying to keep this organized enough that I can do the description notes and have them make sense and not be missing anything. So I worked on that, and the next thing that I worked on was for the Primrose Cottage Stitches Stitch Along Welcome to the North Pole. We're on month 3 now, and each section is a month. So this was this month for August, so I'm finished August. I'm debating getting a jump start on September. I'm gonna be away for a week in September and probably won't get any stitching done that week. So I may go ahead and start, although I haven't had any trouble finishing this in 2 weeks of stitching. So 3 days, maybe 4 of stitching, and I can get a section finished. So it's a lot of color changes in these, but it's fairly simple. And I have mentioned several times that their pattern is a dream. It's nice and big. It is a color pattern. But what I especially love is that they put the thread, not chart, menu, the thing that tells you which code is which thread. I'm drawing a blank on the name for that. They put that at the bottom of every page, so you don't have to keep flipping to like the back, or so it's really nice because I made working copies of the book and I'm not having to shuffle around trying to find the page that has the legend. That's the word I was seeking. The page that has the legend on it. But I got August done. It was the snowman here. So 3 sections done. This would be like a fun one, even if, like, you wouldn't have to do all 6. Like, this would be cute just like this, right? So if somebody wanted to do it, you could pick just the rows that you wanted to do. Like maybe you didn't want the row of houses, or maybe you didn't want the snowman or the train or whatever. I think when I originally bought this, that's what I was thinking, was that I was just gonna do motifs from it. Like I was just gonna do the train engine, or I was just going to do, well, I don't know what. I might have even been thinking I was just gonna do one little strip from it. But then after I had the pattern, like the week after I got it, I heard that they were doing a stitch along. I went, oh, all right, I'll try a stitch along, and I wasn't sure I was gonna keep up, but so far so good. It's a manageable amount of stitching. It doesn't take an entire month of stitching bandwidth. So that one's been fun. And let me see, next up, this is actually my last one this week. I have been keeping up with my temperature chart. I may have mentioned before, I'm a little bored with it. Not that I'm bored, well, yeah, I'm a little bored with it, but I'm determined to finish it. So I'm at August, so that's what, 2/3 of the way through the year. I'm gonna finish this because I know if I don't keep up with this isn't the kind of thing I would pick up a year or 2 years from now. It just would not get done if I don't do it now. So it will get finished. It has been an unseasonably cool summer for us here. It was an unseasonably warm winter, and now cooler than normal summer. I only have a couple days in the, like this bright red, and there's one over here that were the hottest temperature, which for my grid was 93 or higher. And I don't think I had any days that were 32 or below, which was my coldest color. So it means there hasn't been quite as much variety as there could be. There's a couple rows that are up in the Q-snap here that we can't see right now, but yeah, I'm glad I did it once. I don't know that I would do another temperature butterfly. I don't know that I would do another temperature chart, because it does get a little tedious working on the same thing all year, and it's not like something where you really see a pattern forming. You kind of see it in the beginning, and then it just is what it is. So maybe when I get back down into cold temperatures and there's more greens and blues. We were talking about these this last weekend with my sewing friends, because one of them is doing one also by Zara Designs. Zara Designs is the designer of this one. It's an Etsy seller. And she has one which is like the outline of a cat's face. And then it's the same motif that repeats. It starts with the outside of the cat's head, and then just it just keeps cycling down into the middle. And it's the same little shape that is the cat's head within the cat's head. Like each day's motif is a little teeny tiny cat's head. So and it's cute, but we were talking about it, and one of my friends said she doesn't like the rainbow look, and we were saying it would be really pretty to do one in just like blues and purples, or blues and greens, or, you know, orange and pinks, or whatever, but just a couple colors, and then just using a ton of different shades within those few colors. But so that's kind of, that's interesting, just for something different. But I don't know that I'll do one of these again. So that was actually all of my stitching. One thing I did want to let everybody know, when I was in Michael's looking for the paint for the frame, Michael's actually has a 40% off coupon. So I get it through their app, because I use their app for the rewards program. And if you are 55 or older, one of the few discounts you can get anywhere at 55 is a discount at Michael's. So you get 10% off all the time. and they do stack that discount with other things. Not a % off, but say it's like buy one thing, get one, you do get the 10% off the one thing that you buy. So like I bought frames back late last year, and they were actually buy one, get one free. And the one that I bought, I got 10% off, and then the second one was free. So that's what I mean by stacking. But for the first time in a long time, they actually have a 40% off one item coupon. And I thought the 40% off coupons had, like, you know, gone the way of the dinosaur. But it's a great time to pick up Ada. So this is a huge, what is it, 29 by 36. So it's a yard of Ada, 29 inches wide. And I think the regular price was like $12. And then 40% off makes it super cheap. And this is Loops and Threads. Loops and Threads is the brand. Hopefully that will focus. And it's a decent Ada. This is 18 count, which I like and can be trickier to find. So I snatched it up since I had the 40% off coupon, and the paint aisle, of course, was like, you know, right across the main aisle from the cross-stitch stuff. So I had to check that out with the 40% off coupon. It's a little stiff. If you stitch in a hoop, you're fine. If you stitch in hand, you might not love it. It might be a little bit stiff. It's comparable, I think, to the Charles Craft or DMC Ada, which you can also buy in Joann's. I don't think Michael's carries them. Well, Michael's carries some smaller pieces in tubes. But it's comparable, so I wanted to share that. It's a great sale this week. It probably ends Saturday. It's, like I said, it's a coupon in the app. So now I'll show some haul. My Just Cross Stitch issue came, and I'm not going to show the whole issue. I know Zook on Flosstube usually does a magazine walkthrough, and we'll show everything in there. And I'll be honest, this magazine, I just started getting it last year, and I'm not finding a lot in here that I want to stitch. I do get very excited when the magazine comes, and I like to read everything, including all of the ads and everything in there. But I have two things that I don't like many of us. I don't really care for doing back stitching, and you'll see like this is heavily back stitched, and it's a beautiful pattern, but I don't want to do all that back stitch. My other problem is sometimes the charts are difficult to read, and what I mean by that is with all of the back stitching, they chart things in a way I can't show it. Let me see if I can find just a little piece to show what I mean. Of course I can't find one in this book now. Well, okay, here's an example. This is a gorgeous, they had a whole line of these Mother Nature, one for each season, I think, but this one is Halloween. And I'm going to show just a tiny piece of the pattern so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me hold something up in front of it. This is what the pattern looks like. Can you see there's all these colors happening on there? So it's a combination of color, black and white. There's all this back stitching, different colors. They just are a little bit difficult to read. But this issue, and of course now I flipped to that and I lost it. This issue has a pattern in it that I love. When I just saw this one, I was like, oh, that's a cute little pumpkin. And then I realized it had little mice in it. So mice are my thing. I've collected them since I'm little. And this one doesn't have much back stitching at all. Maybe some veining in the leaves or things like that. And I'm fine with that. It's just the heavy back stitch around every single thing. Been there, done that. And I'm really excited that patterns today don't have that much back stitching. So I may stitch this one. I don't know about this fall because I think I've already pretty committed for this fall. And then this stand is kind of cool. So I checked that out. It is from an Etsy shop called Hoopla. Modern Hoopla. And it's just a little wooden piece that will hold your hoop. That shop also has some of the custom-made frames that are square or round and then are recessed in the back so that you can have your piece stretched on a wooden hoop and it will fit right in the back of the frame. So it's an easy way to frame something round. But anyway, that's that magazine. And then I got my next Beach Boardwalk from Country Cottage Needleworks. The one for August is Surf Shop, and that's what it looks like. So I would like this week to finish the first one, which was almost done, the ice cream shop, and then start on this one. I'm not going to keep up with doing these each month, so this one was August's, and obviously I'm not gonna get this completely stitched this month. But I hadn't planned on keeping up with these each month. But so I got that, and then I got a Little Dove Designs pattern, and this one might be kind of hard to see, and this is called Black Cats and Pumpkins. It's pretty small, but let me see. Oh, actually, maybe it is focusing okay. I'm doing a Christmas or winter Little Doves design pattern, and it's similar where it's kind of things in rows like that, and I had a lot of fun doing the Christmas one. So I just like the motifs on this one, and it says, when black cats prowl and pumpkins gleam, may luck be yours on Halloween. So again, not sure that will get stitched this fall, but I got that. And then I got 2 more pieces of Tabby Cat fabric. So I think I talked about Tabby Cat last time. My Beach Boardwalk is on Tabby Cat, and it's really nice to stitch on. But I got this one called Wood Smoke, and it's a really nice green and might work for my Mirabilia that I asked for advice on fabric choice for the Nightingale Mirabilia. In fact, I have that sitting here. Which is this one. So it's slightly different than the green that she's on. But when I asked for advice, Banshee, which was the one I was leaning toward, seemed to win out as well. I only got feedback from a couple people on it. But I'll use this for something. The Tabby Cat, like I said, it just was very nice to stitch on, and this was a pretty soft green that I know I'll use for something. I have some single color things that I want to do for my living room. And my living room has greens and mostly green. Green's the dominant color in my living room. So I got that, and I got another piece of, and that one was called, did I say what it was called? It's Wood Smoke in 32 count. And then this is a piece of the Cat's Whispers in 36 count, which actually is the same fabric that I'm stitching the Beach Boardwalk on. But I'm loving the color, and I'm loving the fabric for stitching. And I don't have a lot of 36 count fabric in my stash. So I picked up another piece of this. I don't tabby cat. This is not common here in the States, so my local, one of my LNSs has had it. Okay, where am I at on time? I never showed a few things that I picked up on the freebie table at Stitch, New Jersey. They had a pretty incredible freebie table. So one of the things that I got, this was a free flyer from Krynic, and I'm looking to see if they have bigger images. It's these really cute, let me see if I if I cover my face, it will focus better. So sorry my face is covered, but the camera will focus on this better if my face is covered. It's just these really cute little snowmen, and so I picked it up. I thought they would make some cute, fun ornaments with or without Krynic, although, well, they call for a little bit of Krynic braid. Yeah, I guess they've done the snowman faces in a Krynic braid, which would make sense because that would make them glittery. And I don't mind working with Krynic braid, but and that's called Mary, Mo, and Flurry. And I don't know if you went to Krynic's website, these may even be free there or something, since I'm pretty sure this was just like a free flyer from something. It doesn't say what it's from. Another one that I picked up was this Shepherd's Bush Printworks pattern, and it is called Witch's Moon, and it's just a little let me see, 96 by 45. It's not very big. So that's a cute stitch. Actually, that one might be a cute one for the Smalls Exchange, now that I think about that. It's within, you know, 6 by 6 kind of limits. It would be longer, but it's narrower, so square inches, it would be about the same. And then I got this Cricut collection. This is Holiday Angels. It's number 55, and it has a lot of cute little things on it. And unfortunately, what I want to make is the smallest on here. So like the little pilgrim couple is cute. This little Santa is actually really cute. But what I want to make are these fun little, there's one up here that's a little bit bigger to see. Just these fun little elf, there we go. Just these fun little elves. So they're in these heart-shaped hearts, and then there's one on the header there. But those are what I want to make. Well, I want to do one of them anyway. And they would be fast. There's not too many colors. Well, it's like 15 colors in all three of them, but they are all about 45 by 59. So they're little things. So those would be some other cute, quick ornaments. And then this is an old Gloria and Pat, and I don't know that I've ever seen this Gloria and Pat, and I thought I had seen them all, because this is when I was working at a craft store, well, 1990. I wasn't working at the craft store then. It might have been a phase where I had a lot of books and I wasn't really shopping for any and wasn't working at a craft store, but it's all florals in here. This one on the cover is actually the one that I would like to do. Would look good here in my office. It matches my bright colors and my reds that I've got going everywhere. Actually, I have pretty bright colors. Red is an accent in my family room, my kitchen, and my dining room. as well. So I have quite a bit of red happening in my house. And then the last thing I picked up was, oh yeah, a couple of these I took out of the magazines. One of these World of Cross Stitching, and it had a Margaret Sherry pattern in it with the cat and mouse. So I love Margaret Sherry, love cats and mice as long as the mice aren't real. And so I grabbed this magazine to stitch those. Her stuff is just so sweet. Oh, yeah, there was a cat in another magazine, and there were other really pretty patterns in the other magazine that I knew I wasn't going to stitch, so I just took the cat pattern out so that somebody else could get the other patterns. But this is another Margaret Sherry, just a little cat swinging there. That one's really small. That would be a very quick stitch. That's the kind I could finish in a couple days. So it's always nice to have some of those to mix in with these big monster projects. So that was all of my haul, and now I'll show my bags for anybody that wants to see them, because I went a little crazy making bags. This is the size I normally make, which is like 13 by 14. It's just a good size for me. And I do like the clear plastic fronts. I like to be able to see what's in there. And I use soft and stable, not quilted at all. I did use a little bit of fusible to fuse the fabric to the soft and stable, but I like it because it gives a bag with structure. So if I have these things propped up next to my sofa, they stay propped up, they're not all sliding around. I can quickly flip through and see what's in them. So it's just my preference and why I like them. So I had picked up this at the scrapbook convention, this like scissor fob keychain. I guess it's really a keychain. I can't find my Gorgeous Girls fabric, which is the line that this is from, but Santoro, which is actually the same fabric designer as the big envelope that I showed, makes this. This is a different designer. Same fabric, same licensing company, I guess I should say. So I made this one. It's a little bright, and I made a little one to go with it. Although the little one I'm probably going to use in my envelope pouch to keep my floss in here, if it will fit in here. That Princess Elliana has like 50 flosses in it, so it's a lot of floss in that one. So I made those two. I'm trying to figure out where to stack things. And I like the smaller pouches. They're just great for grab and go pouches. Like if I want to stick one in my bag going down to Dad's or something like that. Where I don't want to necessarily take along a big piece or Q-snap, or, you know, there's sometimes when you want to stitch and you just want to take something small. And so I love the smaller bags for these, and I needed a couple more smaller bags. So while I was making bags, I did make sure and make a few smaller ones. So I won't use these together. There'll be different projects in them, but yeah, they match. So this is a Riley Blake fabric, and I bought it for a quilt back from like a flat fold or clearance, not really clearance, kind of clearance. I'll call it clearance section. Only I bought it twice for a quilt bag, so I've got way more than I would need for a quilt bag, so I went ahead and used some of it for project bag. And then I don't know what this fabric is that I put in here. I know this is Riley Blake. So I made those, and then I wanted some beach theme bags because I've got a couple beach theme. I've got Beach Boardwalk going. I have the Erica Michaels, I can't remember the name of it. It's the one that looks like like Scrabble tiles with all the beach kind of words, and has the little Cape May trolley on it. I want to work on that some more this week too. So I've got some beach things that I want to work on this week, but I wanted to make a couple summery, beachy kind of bags. So I made this one with these flip flops. And then it's lined with fabric that has little beach balls on it. And I went through and put charms on all my zippers except the zippers that I use that have this, and they're enough like that. So I didn't put anything on those zippers. This was another beachy one. The little like beach cabanas and surfboards. This one is taller instead of wider. So normally I do 14 inches wide and 13 inches tall. Instead, this one is 14 inches tall and 13 inches wide. And it's because I wasn't paying attention when I cut the fabric, and the fabric's directional, and I didn't want it like this on the back. So my bag is taller instead of wider. And it's got that same beach ball fabric on there. And I put a little bicycle charm on here. I had fun digging through my stash of charms and things, looking for stuff to put on my bags. Let me see. This little one I forgot to show. It's got a little watermelon charm. That's backwards. Little watermelon charm on it. I don't know where I've got a bunch of those watermelon charms, so I got them somewhere really cheap. And then this is my last beach themed one. This is like umbrellas and beach balls. And then on the inside, it's actually beach chairs. And I didn't have anything beachy related, so it has a little camera charm on the zipper. So I got that one made. I'm almost to the end of the bags. Well, no, I'm not. These are some fall ones, and I didn't really have fall charms. I need some leaves or something. So I've got a little truck and a key for lack of anything that matched any better. But this fabric line actually is these little foxes. I love this little guy. So all of my life, I didn't like foxes. They're kind of creepy. They skulk. And then when I bought my first house, they backed up to a golf course, and at night I would hear the foxes barking. And when I first heard that, I remember calling my dad the next day saying, "What the heck is this animal? It sounds like this. I'm not gonna do it." And embarrass myself. But he laughed and said it's a fox, and I hated the bark. So I'm like, okay, now in addition to them being sneaky just the way they slink around, they've got this really obnoxious bark. Then one night one got hold of a rabbit on the golf course, and we don't think of rabbits as making sound, but they make a god-awful screaming sound. So yeah, you've got the fox barking, then it's catching a rabbit, you've got a rabbit screaming, which my neighbor actually asked me, did I hear something that sounded like a woman screaming the night before? And I was like, yeah, that's a rabbit, and just, you don't even want to know anymore. But anyway, you're thinking, well, why the hell would you make bags with foxes on them if you don't have this dislike for foxes? So last year, over to this side, these are windows here, and it's a big hill behind my neighbor's yard. And last spring, I discovered a mother with 5 kits. They would come out on the hill to play in the sun every day. They were so stinking cute. These kits were like a cross between a puppy and a kitten. The mother would kind of shepherd them, like they would start to wander off and she would go shepherd them back like a dog. But watching the kits, you know, they would do that kind of sideways hopping, jumping on each other thing like kittens do. I had so much fun watching them that I just fell in love with these foxes. They actually had dug a den right off the back of my house in my hill this winter, but at some point they disappeared. So something happened to the fox It's no longer with us, I'm sure, or it would have been back in its den and had its pups or kits there. But anyway, I had so much fun that I just love the little baby foxes now. So hence my fox theme on the fall project bags. But if you ever get a chance to see baby foxes, too stinking cute. And then the last one, because I know you're sick of looking at bags, it's another small and large one, because like I said, I needed some small ones. This is fabric that has little kittens and kind of a garden spring theme going. So that was 11 of that style, this style of project bags in different sizes, but 11 of those and my big envelope pouch. So I was quite pleased with my sewing weekend, even though I didn't get to any quilting. It was more a relief to get the pillowcases done because, like I said, they've been in my way. I have them in one of those big IKEA tote bags, you know, the kind that are blue. Well, it's huge, and it's in the middle of my craft room. It's in the way. Every time I try to go to get to my sewing machine, the bag is in the way. I have to move it, then I have to move it back. It's just a hassle. So I'm very excited to have those done, and I just need to wash them and then get them dropped off, and they'll be out of my hair. But I think you probably have listened to me ramble enough if you've still stuck around. Thank you. And I hope everybody has a fantastic week and happy stitching. And I'll talk to you next week. All right. Bye.